Dang. What? Oh! Oh, sorry for yelling. Oh gosh, that hurts. We are what we do over time. In other words, we are what we repeat over time. That is the power of repetition. We become what we say and what we do over time. So that's why we have to be very careful what we say, what we speak, and what we do. Because for better or worse, that is the power of repetition. Hello friends, my name is Benoit Kim, a UPenn educated psychotherapist and your favorite yapper. Welcome to my detailed psychological analysis of the new series My Dress Up Darling, episode 1. Thank you to Patreon and YouTube membership family for suggesting the show and voting on the last poll. Athathanation Zero, Vinny, Foxlows Gaming, Crisco94, Uixiang, Project Norway, Samsonian, and Fidelis are the sponsor tier highlights of today's video. I appreciate your support. Shout out to the best patron and YouTube members family. Remember, you matter, you are worthy. Sit back and I hope you enjoy. Little boy. Whoa. They're cool. Beauties. Whoa. Whoa. The little boy's grandparents made the dolls. They're called Hina dolls. Very cool. Sugoi. They're really cool. Wow. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're old, of course, I love making predictions. And like I said, I am a master of over-analysis and yapping. I can tell that, of course, all of our adulthood experiences are coming from what we experienced as a childhood. In other words, childhood experiences significantly shape and influence our adulthood interests, hobbies, how we form our relationships, our attachment styles, our calling, our jobs, professions, anything in between. In this case, the little boy's love at first sight with those Hina dolls that the grandparents made. He's like, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in this world. And you see the boy was awestruck. And I'm guessing that boy is going to become a doll maker of some sort, maybe following the footsteps of his grandparents because of those dolls. So my question for you guys is, what's the first thing that you guys fell in love with? Was it like a beautiful Hina doll for this boy or anything else? But have you ever fell in love at first sight? Not with people necessarily, but with things, hobbies, interests. That's awesome. With a little bit of practice, you'll just be like your old grams. We are what we do over time. In other words, we are what we repeat over time. That is the power of repetition. We become what we say and what we do over time. So that's why we have to be very careful what we say, what we speak, and what we do. Because for better or worse, that is the power of repetition. Wow, he's already getting there. That's awesome. What? Dang. What? Okay, that's sad. Okay, so it looks like that was a memory recall or a flashback. Definition right here. So flashback is usually a trauma response, usually from PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. Definition right here. Flashback is memories because of some sort of trauma or unpleasant experiences of the past that we have not fully processed and healed yet. Those trauma gets embedded into our memory. And memories obviously got called back and spill over when we're sleeping. Because when we're sleeping, our subconscious, our neurons, our brain cells are working really hard to process and digest the stresses that we have that spill over from our main consciousness, which is our day-to-day when we're awake. So when we're asleep, our brain is working to process the spilled over stress, which is the subconscious. And that's why we usually have nightmares, or clinically we call them stress dreams. Definition right here. Dreams that are very stressful. So anytime we have stress dreams in our day-to-day, that means we have a lot of stresses. And a lot of the stresses are spilling over from our main consciousness, and it's too much for us to fully process when we're awake. That's why we have those stressful dreams when we're sleeping. So it sounds like that's what the main character was experiencing. And I feel bad for the little boy because a lot of people think about patriarchy, paternalistic society, which is what the Japanese culture in the United States is. Of course, patriarchy is unhealthy for a lot of women in a lot of senses, right? Income gap. I think in the US, women make 70 cents for every dollar men makes for the same skill sets, for the same job, for the same descriptions. But a lot of men forget that patriarchy also is unhealthy for a lot of men. Case in point, men, air quote, are expected to be engineers, lawyers, fixers. What's this arbitrary standard, right? I'm a military veteran. I served 6 years in the US Army, but I'm a psychotherapist. I'm very big on emotions. I'm very big on relationships. I cry all the time when I'm watching K-drama sometimes with my wife. So I have 2 adorable cats, right? Like I hate being put into a box. But for him, it sounds like that experience is traumatic because that little girl under the patriarchy said that, why do you like dolls? Why do you like the things that girls like? I hate you. And that is a trauma because that is rejection for this little boy. Rejection of his dream, his hobby, his love at first sight. And the deepest level is rejection of his identity as a boy, as a man. Interesting start to the show already. I like it. We see the paint jars, so he's still keeping on with the doll making, looks like. Oh, hi. Oh. I was like, who's he saying hi to? Aww. Aww. That's cool. Hey, who am I to judge, right? A lot of people are obsessed with cars, clothing, necklaces, whatever. I love making videos, storytelling, being creative. Obsession is amazing. It's better to have something you'd rather die for, aka being obsessive over, than being lukewarm and having nothing. Of course, who am I to judge? I don't know anyone's circumstances. Like he still feels as shy and as pure as he was as a little boy many, many years ago towards the subject of his passion or even obsession. And I think obsession gets a negative connotation a lot in the modern sense. Of course, there's balances, right? Everyone needs to find their own balance. But I think overall, if it's about your calling, something you really love, something you're really good at, being obsessive can be a healthy thing. I'm very obsessive about clinical techniques, clinical knowledge, theories, neuroscience, mental health, clinical psychology. And like I said, creative aspect about YouTube. And there's nothing wrong with that. As long as you don't let that obsession in an unhealthy way impair and impact your day-to-day, your relationships, and so on. Gojo dolls. Oh, these are the Nina dolls, right? Cool outfit. These are his pajamas. Oh, that's the grandpa. Wakana? That's the name of the character? Wakana? Aww. Flow states. Perfection is a lie. Perfection is an illusion. Please do not aim for perfection because imperfections indicates and demonstrates that there's ways of progress, there's pathway to success, and there's pathway for evolution. Practice makes progress, not perfection. Because if everything were perfect, what's the point? There is no point of getting better because you already reached the top. It's a journey that makes the destination beautiful. Yep, many years. Exactly. Damn! 48 years! Wow. Hold up. So they not only have to make their faces, the makeup, assembly, they also have to make their outfit? I thought they just bought them and put them on. I thought you just have to do the makeup and assembling. Like, like putting on different outfits, mix and matching and so on. They have to, from scratch, make the outfit for these dolls? That's amazing. Whoa, it's such an intricate task. Much respect. Yeah, repetition, baby. The fact that he was choking on his miso soup, I'm guessing that he hasn't made any friends. Sounds like he's a massive introvert and a shut-in, and he likes to derive energy from within, like from staying inside. And I guess his one and only love and hobby and friends is the dolls he makes. That's why he was choking on the miso soup. Also, I didn't know he was in high school. He looks so much taller and more mature. I thought he was like at least in college, but I guess he's a high schooler. Don't choke, my man. Oh. Wow, he really is obsessive. Ah. Wakana couldn't even make eye contact with the grandpa because he's lying. He's like, oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, I have a lot of friends. They're just so busy. Yeah. If grandpa's like, tell me a name of your friends, he's going to stutter. I'm dead. So he has no friends, okay? Ah. The grandpa definitely knows his grandson Wakana is lying, but he's not going to burst his bubble because that's unconditional love. Sounds like the grandpa helped raise the grandson. Maybe the mother, father passed away, or they're absent from home, or they left. Maybe there's another unrevealed traumatic backgrounds about his upbringing, about Wakana. Because usually children with such obsession, again, good or bad, that's not the point. The point is any children with such obsession, hyperfixation, usually have some sort of attachment struggle. Not issues necessarily, because we don't get to choose our family. We don't get to choose our trauma or the circumstances we grow up upon. However, we do get to choose our identities, who we want to become. That's empowerment. So just from that and grandpa's response, I could already tell maybe there's some unrevealed trauma about his upbringing besides that rejection from that girl from his flashback. Oh, so funny. Some tangents, but so I went to a boarding high school in the United States where I had to live on campus in the dormitory because my parents were in Asia at the time, in China for their businesses. So I was in the US by myself with my little sister. And we never really had a uniform because I think a lot of Catholic schools in the US have uniforms. I know in Japan and Korea and even China, school uniforms are very common because it's uniformity. It's a conformity almost because everything looks standardized. It looks pretty clean. I'm a big fan of school uniform so that I don't really have to stress about what to wear day to day. But what about you guys? Would you rather wear school uniforms in high school? Or you're like, nah, I want my freedom of expressions. My fashion is my expression, is my identity. I'd rather wear what I want to. I think people have different preferences, but I was just curious. See, he looks clean. Big fan. I was like, wait, Wakana does have a friend. Because that's what friends do. But just kidding. I think we saw Wakana kind of stunts, like he froze. And then it's because it wasn't his friends. Because he has no friends. The other guy's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I've done that before. Embarrassment for both. Aww. That's rough. Anime? So what the show is portraying is how different cliques, different social groups are united around the center of their common interests, common hobbies. Hakana is like, I have no other common interest. That's why it's hard for me to find a social group, social community. Because who else has the same obsession or even interest about making hinadolls? That's why I think he feels lonely. He feels left out. Because there is a difference between feeling lonely and being alone. Aloneness, as I talk about a lot throughout my different series, aloneness, being content by ourselves is nothing unhealthy or nothing bad. I love my aloneness. I enjoy sitting with my thoughts, myself, my emotions, because I put in a lot of the work. But being alone, loneliness is detrimental. If you look at the statistics in the study based on the latest US Surgeon General, loneliness is equivalent to smoking 7 cigarettes a day. The negative impact of loneliness mentally, psychologically, and physically is equivalent to smoking 7 cigarettes a day. Let that sink in. We are, as a society, globally, we are struggling and going through a loneliness epidemic, but not enough people are talking about loneliness. So it's a silent suffering, just like social anxiety, which is what I covered for Bocchi the Rock, my most recent series that I finished, right? So again, so it looks like Hakana, I don't know if he struggles with loneliness necessarily, but he's definitely feeling lonely based on his thoughts and comparing his lack of social group with everyone else's. He definitely feels lonely. I could tell from that monologue. Right there. His monologue, that's a trauma response. That is the symptom and the representation of his first trauma as a boy from his flashback when he was rejected by the girl for his identity, his love, his passion, and his obsession of making the dolls. I'd just make things super awkward and make everyone feel uneasy around me. He hasn't even tried. What does that say? He stopped trying to make friends. He stopped putting in any effort. He stopped even attempting to make friends by talking about his healthy obsession, his interest, his passion. Why? Goes all the way back to his childhood trauma about being rejected for who and what he represents by that girl. And I'm guessing that's the girl that he was closest with as a friend, you know? So my heart breaks for Hakana. I really feel for him. Being rejected for what you love. Called it. I called that, yo. Oh. Whoa. Where'd she come from? I like her legs are fondling in the air. Oh! Oh, sorry for yelling. Oh gosh, that hurts. That hurt me. Myrene? What's her name? Gomenne? Whoa, her eyes are cool. Kitakawa? He knows who she is? Well, also, why is she so open? She just physical contact. She's literally just rubbing on his hands. Cause what is this? I get it. She was curious, but does she not feel any sense of like distance from a new person? Like I guess they know of each other, but she's very open compared to like the traditionally conservative, more Japanese culture. He's blushing. This is fine. Her eyes are like mesmerizing. She's super bubbly, super extroverted. Myrene is her name? Okay. Ink from the dolls, doll makeup. After she walks away, he's such a dude. I get it, high schoolers, right? The peak of hormones, testosterone, right? All they're thinking about is girls. Boys are thinking about girls, and girls are thinking about boys. Romance, love is in the air, the love hormone chemical. As soon as she walks away after that very intimate physical contact, he was staring at her skirts. I'm dead, bro. Wow, so she's super popular? Oh, that's the title of this episode. That she is the center of attention. She's super popular, extroverted, outgoing, social, a butterfly. Whereas Hakana, obviously lonely, no friends, doesn't really open up because of that self-judgment, insecurity, low self-esteem, and the trauma of feeling rejected when he was a little boy about his hobbies. Marine, she's a hair model. Ah! Damn! Damn! Okay, so I'm guessing Marine was triggered by that. That's a pretty rude comment. Like, bro, you don't even know her. You're trying to strike up a conversation. AK, you're trying to befriend her. Because, guys, listen up. Quick dating 101. When you're meeting someone for the first time, A, you don't want to be fake. Because if you fake and front it just to get to the second date, your true self will eventually come out and they will be thrown off by your fakeness. Unless you're sociopathic, you cannot fake it your entire life. Not possible. 2, focus on what other people like. Find the balance. Don't always talk about yourself. Talk about other people, their hobbies, their interests, what inspires them, what are their core values, what do they really care about, what motivates them, what motivates them, what makes them want to get up every single day. In this case, I could tell Marine is very obsessive. Oh, obsession, common interest between Akana and Marine. But sounds like Marine is very obsessive and super, super passionate about the anime dolls she had on her bag. So as soon as he made that rude comment, she was like, the death stare. She's like, only thing that is lame here is you, and she walked away. Right? So guys, be respectful and talk and ask. Be inquisitive. Ask about what the other people like and find common interests that way. But please don't be fake, because if you're fake, just get to the next dates. Your true self will eventually reveal. Brutal. Okay, so she likes anime. Ice Queen. Exactly what I said, yo. Yep. Hakana heard their conversation, and I'm sure his mind is drifting to his own experiences, his own hobbies, his own interests, and again, feeling of that rejection, which is deeply traumatic and hurtful, especially for children, even for adults. You see that? So Marine, she is unashamedly proud and passionate about anime. Even her friends, they're like, honestly, even for us, when you're talking about it, we don't get it. But she doesn't care. She does not let other people's dispassion and lack of understanding deter her from being her authentic self. So far, the first half of this episode is about being authenticity and childhood trauma and the impact on adulthood and our growing up, right? So that's the thing. Eventually, if you're passionate enough, people will gravitate towards your passion. And as long as you're being authentic, being genuine, being yourself, people will see that in you. And you will eventually join or start your own community, your own social circle. That's what Marine represents. She doesn't care. She accepts herself first and foremost. So she doesn't care even if people don't understand her love for anime. Ah, see? Trauma. I feel for you, Hakana. Isn't Gojo the same character name from Jujutsu Kaisen? But looks like Gojo is being a nice guy. Bro, that's a lot. You have to put up every chair. So we call this overcompensating, definition right here. Overcompensation. It's a defensive and coping mechanism for many folks like Gojo. He's like I rather overcompensate in other areas like physical work, labor, putting up chairs, cleaning up after class versus striking up conversations. So one, he's people pleasing. He's trying to please people out of his own discomfort, his own self-judgments, his own insecurity. And two, he's overcompensating for the fact that he's unable to have conversations because of his trauma from his childhood. Not because of who he is, but because of what he experienced. Very different. Because remember, we are not our trauma, and our trauma does not define who we are. Full stop. But that's why he's overcompensating here, by being overly nice. No, you wouldn't. It's fine. Of course, the female main character shows up. Of course. Amazing writing. Faithful encounter for the second time. Oh, she's helping out. Oh, she's so nice. Bro, she's helping out. And she's responsible. Maji? 진짜? That's in Korean. Desne? Nope. Yep. People pleasing. It's tough. Yeah, that's called being stepped all over. Yep. Yes, Marine. Yeah. Yeah, you go, girl. How do you like Marine so far? Here's my quick psychological profile for Hakana and Marine, the two seeming protagonists. So far, it's pretty clear. Hakana or Gojo he's a shut-in, super introverted, childhood trauma, rejection, fear of rejection, low self-esteem, a lot of insecurity about his hobbies, and he's lonely. And he's a people pleaser because he likes to overcompensate and please other people because he doesn't not want to make them uncomfortable, and he is unable to speak for himself. Whereas Marine is the girl who lives in the world opposite. I think the title serves triple meanings. Level 1, like what Gojo talked about, he's a shut-in, but she's a popular. That's the most surface level, level 1. Level 2, I think Gojo likes to make dolls, and he is obsessive. But that obsession is in secret. Whereas Marine, she's also obsessive and very passionate about anime, but she's in the wide open. She accepts herself. She's not ashamed of who she is and what she likes. That's level 2. And level 3, Marine knows about self-advocacy. Definition right here. She's not afraid of speaking up her mind, advocating for herself. Because you can't have everyone around you who care about you, advocate for you, speak up for you, which is great. At the same time, we ourselves, me, myself, and I, we are ultimately responsible for speak up, to stand up, and put our foot down. Because no one will care about our lives as much as we do. Period. So that's 3 levels of what the title means. That she is someone that's living in the world opposite from me. Triple layers right there. But I agree. Speak up for yourself. We have to. Break the cycle. Dang, it's a really delicate work. Oh, that grandpa is awesome. He loves him so much. Yes. Yes. One more comment, because I'm really passionate about advocating for herself. But of course, it takes practice, guys, right? No one is born confident, especially for someone like Hakana who have that childhood trauma. I deeply feel for him. I'm not blaming him. I'm not judging him. I feel it for real. At the same time, even for same day Amazon deliver services, you have to pick your preferences. You have to speak up and choose what to order, when to be delivered, and how you want it to deliver to your door. to leave it at the front door, at the mailroom, or in front of your apartment. Do you see what I'm saying? Even Amazon, same day delivery services, you have to speak up, let alone our feelings about what we need, about our life. Marine is 100% right. Truth hurts, but it's important. She did. Yes. Yep, childhood trauma. Wow, that thing is old. Yo, I had that in my grandma's house before. Wow. So I do a lot of inner child or childhood trauma work with a lot of my clients clinically. If Gojo or Hakana were my clients, I would tell him one thing. Hey, Hakana, you're not the helpless and the powerless little boy that you once were. You are not that little boy anymore. You have a loving grandpa. You know yourself better. You're much stronger, much taller, much bigger. Maybe you didn't have the chance and the opportunity to speak up, express your feelings, to tell that girl who rejected your hobby and therefore rejected you. Yes, you are hurt and traumatized as a little boy, and I feel for you. You have my empathy. I will sit here and I'll support you. I'll sit with you throughout this healing journey. At the same time, please hear me loud and clear, and to everyone watching, you are not that little girl, little boy, that little person that went through their traumatic experiences. Your trauma does not define who you are, but you're stuck. And you have to ask yourself, what is it going to take for me to stay unstuck and come out of the box that trauma put me in? Because Gojo, Hakana, you are not that little boy anymore. You're much more capable, much more resilient than you think you are. Ganbatte, I believe in you. Let's go. Look at, he brightens up as soon as. My guess is Marine somehow gonna walk in on him again because he probably lost track of time. Because again, that's the level of obsession and flow state he's tapping into. And she's gonna see, she's like, oh my gosh, anime, dolls. Can you make some dolls from an anime? And I'm sure some of their hobbies gonna collide and be revealed. And that's probably gonna start their connection, and their paths are gonna start crossing. And obviously the show's about them, right? I bet Marine's gonna come. That's my prediction. Oh, look at him. That purity, pure of love. Called it. Guys, the setup was too obvious. I called it, guys. I knew it. She's gonna get it. Whoa, nice slide. Damn. Yo, first of all, Gojo's slide. Dude, he should be playing baseball. He could be stealing so many bases. Did you see that agility, that speed? Bro, that slide was amazing. Wow. Yeah, I love the music. The dun dun dun, the dun dun dun. She's like blushing all over, sweating profusely. Sukoi! Yo, he's super good. So Hakana is stunts and he froze. Remember, humans have 4 primary fear responses. In light of fear, most people will either fight, flight, run away, freeze, they just freeze in place, and fawn. Fawn is being obedient with the orders for the sake of minimizing hurt and trauma. It's more common in sexual trauma cases, right? Anyway, so Hakana froze. Sounds like he's a freezer based on the fear responses. And very important PSA, no responses from fear is better than the other. It's just based on different genetics, different upbringing, different personalities. Period. That's it. Everyone just have different fear responses. Awesome show so far. Big fan. Unconditional acceptance. Look at this hottie. Aww. She appreciates it. It's very wholesome. Yay. Is this also love at first sight? My grandpa did. Wait, is this show about cosplay? Marine is a darling for Hakana for dress up, and is Hakana gonna make all the outfit and cosplay outfit for Marine's anime cosplay love? Bro, this show, the setup of this show, man. Wow. Whoa, what the? Damn, girl. All right, what the heck is going on, bro? All right. What the? Why is she so open? What is it? Yo, Hakana has never been in a room, obviously never had a girl in a such intimate contact, let alone for a high school girl to undress in front of you. Little bit hentai des, a little bit perversive, only because I'm 32 years old. For high schoolers, that's fine, right? So I'm not judging. But he's like, but the point is, he's like, dun 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 dun. He's like, what is this feeling? What is this sounds? My man, that's the sounds and the feeling of your heart about to pump out of your chest, out of excitement and anxiety. Because the most popular girl that you had a crush forever is undressing in front of you. Your testosterone and your hormones are off the roof. Hi. Why? I guess she's showing him the cosplay outfit. Obviously, I hope this is not a perversive show, right?
Wow. Okay.
Cosplay. Yep, called it. She's blushing now. Which anime is it? Some sort of a witch? Witch outfit? It's not even close! Ah! Yo, the professional critique, Hakana is like, 60% passing grade, but definitely not good. Match made in heaven. You see that? As soon as Hakana gets into his obsessive professional mode about outfit, design, sewing, doll making, his anxiety, you see his tonation, his voice changed. He's like, you must be joking, right? He literally got up. Do you see that confidence coming out? He's in this critique mode. He's like, what? I'm sure he's going to go into this flow state of providing feedback and criticism. He's like, you're joking. What is this, huh? So funny. Ah. Ah. Yo, reverse stitching, lining, and bobbing thread. You see that? When he's in this analytical, professional, obsessive mode, there's no girls, boys. She made me so like flustered, right? There's no physical contact, skinship. All of that is out of the window. Only thing in his eyes, and only thing on his minds is doing the best he can about sewing and creating the most beautiful outfits based on his passion. Much respect. But passion recognizes passion, obsession recognizes obsession. I think, of course, he did go ham, as I predicted. But I think Marine's gonna love at first sight. The episode, I just had another light bulb moment. Power of caffeine, right? Heyo. This episode started with Hakana falling in love in first sight with his first passion, his hobby, making henna dolls. And I think the episode is going to end with Marine, love at first sight with Hakana, Gojo-san. Because of his amazingness at sewing, making outfit, his complementary skill sets for her cosplay passion, and who he is. Because she doesn't care about hot guys. Guys, listen up. Hot girls know they're hot. And hot guys know they're hot. But generally speaking, hot girls don't care about just physical appearances. Because they get attraction, they get attention all the time. They truly, a lot of them care more about your personality. Can you strike up a conversation? You know, what are your hobbies? Of course, physical appearances matter. Of course, that's level 1, right? But my point is, because Marine, she's popular and she knows she's attractive. I think she's attracted to unique guys like Gojo-san. And Gojo's not a bad looking guy by whatsoever, right? He's fit, he's tall, right? And he's a nice guy. And his passion literally aligns with Marine's passion. Match made in heaven. Pay you for criticism? Bro. See, he's freezing again. Fear response. In the sun? She wants to cosplay. So she's an aspiring cosplay. Man, the camera, I get it. I get sex appeal, but I just have a lot of issues with like the hentai, like the angle, because she's a high school, right? And obviously a lot of the audiences are more mature. Again, I'm 32. She's literally a kid. I get it. I'm not going to focus too much on that. That's cool. Cosplay is cool. Yeah. And wow, remember her friends are like, Marine always disappears after school to somewhere. She disappears to the sewing room to work on her cosplay outfit. Guys, they have the same obsession. Oh, I already shipped them. Let's go. Pretty good though. It's rare to find a high school person, boys or girls. It's hard to find a high schooler who's into sewing, right? That's pretty rare. Please. They're going to be spending a lot of time together. That's what that means. Yes, be honest though. Speak your feelings, remember? You see the anime comic books and like manga in Marine's back. Again, she's very, very passionate and obsessive about anime. That's why she wants to be a cosplay player. Again, I respect healthy obsessions as long as it does not impact your life in a negative way. Aww. That's cool. Aww. I think he's pausing because he sees himself in her. Amen. Amen, sister. Yes. He's going to say yes. Come on, obviously. See? Called it. He sees himself in her. You hear the sincerity in his voice. Maji? 진짜? Aww. Happy ending. Yay. She's literally shuffling on the floor. I think he said yes, not because she's hot, not because she's popular, not necessarily because she's asking of him. He said yes, and he sounds sincere because passion respects passion. True love respects true love. in terms of hobby. And she made him feel accepted for who he is by her revealing authentically and truthfully about her true passion. You guys get my point? Aww.
教室の中で自分とは真逆の世界で生きている人がいる。
Title name?
その人と思ってもみなかった。
New level, baby. Level 2, let's go. Aww.
何その人になりたいんですね。
だってめちゃくちゃ尊いんだもん。
Wow. I get it. Ah, wow. She knows her stuff. Nandeste. That's awesome. I hope he learns from her over time the power of unconditional acceptance of ourselves. Because unless we learn and put in the work to accept all of ourselves, the good, because the good is easy, but it's hard to accept the bad, the ugly, what we're ashamed of. Like Gojo's doll-making hobbies based on rejection trauma when he was a child. Unless we learn to accept all of ourselves first, even if as many people accept us, there's still a very, very massive void. And nothing external, nothing outside can fill in the void of what's internal, what is in the inside. We have to fill in that void. So I hope Gojo, you, and everyone watching, you can learn to accept all of yourselves. Self-acceptance, self-love, self-compassion. My urge to everyone watching by closing out is I hope all of us can be a little bit nicer, a little bit more gracious with ourselves, because you are worthy and you matter. I love this show already. What an amazing episode 1. As always, if you enjoy my in-depth psychological yapping, please smash a thumbs up and subscribe. Favorite your new favorite yapper, and unless you subscribe, you will miss out on the next video and the next series. And for anyone that's interested, if you don't want to wait weeks until I upload my episodes, if you want early access and voting power to pick future series, join our Patreon family and YouTube members. I appreciate you guys for tuning in, and remember, you matter. Until next time, peace.